Hello and welcome to the Nonsense Comms impressions video for Sonic 4 Episode 2. Joining us today is, introduce yourself.
I go by Johnny Boy SP, but you can call me John or JB.
We'll stick to JB because it's simpler.
Because it's what you've always called me.
Well, that too. Alright, so MG is going to be a mute for the rest of this video.
No, I'm MG, Mario Gamer 159, and I'm here. Yes, Mario
I'm
Gamer
Smash.
reviewing a Sonic game.
Seems legit.
Some fanboy you are.
So yeah, we're gonna just talk about like what we liked and didn't like about Sonic 4 Episode 2. Is it safe to say we all liked the game, though?
I liked it.
Pretty sure. It's
Yeah.
safe to say that.
Alright, good. Okay, so let's start off by talking about the zones. So the first one was Sylvania Castle Zone. What did you guys think about that?
I thought it was
How
pretty
did
good for
you
starting
feel?
it off. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it did kind of have the traditional first Sonic Zone feel to it, where there's some form of green coloring everywhere. But I did like how some of it, they had the little tiny throwbacks, I mean, not just there, but to the old zones from other Sonic games. It was kind of cool. Like in Act 2 when they had the water jets shooting you like in Hydrocity, or Hydro City, whichever you prefer to call it.
So, I liked it. I didn't really like too much how it was, well, like in design-wise, it was really a lot like Aquatic Ruin. But most of that's just because I don't actually like Aquatic Ruin.
But then the boss, like, hey, we're gonna pretend like it's Aquatic Ruins boss all over again, and then, oh nope, I was trolling you.
Oh yeah, I thought that was pretty funny.
That cracked me up.
So one thing I noticed in both Splash Hill and Sylvania Castle, both of them, like, they go through a whole day cycle in the level. I don't get why those levels do it, but none of the other ones do.
Oh.
Like, Act 1 is
I don't
during,
know, maybe the desert night doesn't look cool.
like, Act 1 is during the day, Act 2 is in the sunset, Act 3 is at night. Both of those zones did that, but none of the other ones do.
Well, the Carnival
Yeah, I didn't
World,
notice
which is
that at the time, but that's
the Carnival World,
Well,
which is
yeah.
the next one, is kind of like all night. So it'd be kind of like, thinking about it, it wouldn't really look as good if it was during the day, you know, because all the lights and stuff.
Yeah.
right.
So, this zone had something that I liked that the rest of the game didn't really have much of. Like, a lot of people complain about the homing attack because, well, it doesn't really seem that necessary in a 2D game. But what I liked was how
Right.
what I liked was how Sylvania Castle, it had like gimmicks that used the homing attack in unique ways. Like those like platforms in the water that you would homing attack on, and then you could bounce off the top of them.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. Or the ones that were in the air and you'd have to hit them and it'd knock them sideways.
Yeah, actually, I found out like you could keep hitting those and they would like keep rotating.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah, it's not something you ever need to do, but I think it's funny that they let you do that.
Why not?
But yeah, I liked how they did that, and it's kind of a shame that they didn't do that in the rest of the zones.
Hmm. Yeah, pretty much the rest of the zone was just homing attack for attacking.
Yeah.
Right. Or speed boosting.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
So,
Alright, so let's... what did you guys think of the boss in that zone?
I like how it was like a fake out. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, we already mentioned that, but I did think that was pretty funny.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the boss itself goes, though, I like it, but it's an annoying boss to fight with Supersonic. If only because, like, at the very end when Eggman is, like, getting blown up and stuff and going off screen, it takes so long for the game to let you, like, go over and just end the
Right.
level.
You're like, I need just a few more rings. Come on.
Yeah, like,
Last long enough for me to hit the.
I beat the boss with Supersonic, and then, like, right as I would have gotten to the, like, capsule, Supersonic ran out.
Oh. Well,
Actually, you know, that... Okay, you go ahead.
sorry. I was just gonna say, if you're going for the achievement, I think you just need to hit the boss. You don't need to like finish the level as Supersonic. But
Well,
I
alright.
don't know either way, but still.
So, the thing with the bosses, though, it does remind me, getting the achievement with them is pretty difficult. Like, I still haven't done it.
neither have I.
It's not as bad as episode one's achievements.
Yeah. I've noticed the Metal Sonic fights are really easy with Supersonic, though. It's just the Eggman ones that are tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing
Alright.
that I don't necessarily agree with is that they have it that you have to use your co-op attack on most of the Eggman stuff. So how they did it is that when you're Supersonic, it takes you out of that, and then you can't really go back into it
Right.
unless you have 50 coins. I mean rings, not Mario.
Gosh, MG.
Oh, you knew it was going to seep in there somewhere.
Mm.
Everyone knows what he means, at least.
Yeah, we saw it coming. Alright, so anyways, I don't think we have anything else to say about that zone, so... White Park.
It's very, very white.
Christmas!
Yes, Christmas. Mixed with a little bit of ice cap.
Yeah. So, the thing I really liked, though, was Act 2. Just because it was like a actual roller coaster level in a Sonic game.
That was really, really cool in a way.
Yeah. I think I would
And,
have...
and I like the going into the background. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
It's fine. I think I would have liked it a little more if, like, there weren't so many speed boosters in the level, because, you know, it'd be kind of fun to just have a level of, like, rolling all over the place as Sonic using the improved physics. Actually, we forgot to mention that the physics are a lot better than Episode 1.
It actually almost feels just like an old Sonic game, other than the fact that you can homing attack. But
Yeah.
whatever.
But at the same... actually, no. That kind of reminds me of just, like, how I feel about the game in general. Sonic 1... Not Sonic 1. Sonic 4 Episode 1, it tried to, like, have a bunch of throwbacks and nostalgia to the old games and keep it simple like them. But it felt too
Right.
much like it was trying to be them. What I liked about Episode 2 was it felt like its own game. It felt like it felt like a new game in the series, not just, oh hey, we're gonna try and do this again.
Right.
I like that about it too.
Alright,
Because not all the bosses felt like...
MG, go ahead.
Oh, I was done. So go ahead, Johnny.
Oh.
I was going to say, in Episode 1, pretty much all of the bosses were basically reused or slightly revamped versions of old bosses. I can't think of one off the top of my head that really felt new. But it's been a while since I played Episode 1. But these new bosses, other than the fact that that first one like trolled you, were kind of different, which was cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, bringing up Episode 1 and its bosses reminds me, why did they use the pinch music from that for Episode 2's bosses? Like, everyone complained about how short that song was. What's their reaction to that?
And
Give it to all the bosses.
and it makes it even worse that the boss fights take way longer in Episode 2 than they do in Episode 1.
Yeah. Like, the fights
Because like all of them have that intro cutscene. The Junkyard one especially, because it's like you gotta wait 20, 30 seconds while Eggman assembling his Junkyard Warrior thing, and it's like,
Yeah.
okay, it was cool the first time, but I don't want to watch that every time. And the song's
Yeah.
already looped once by the time you're actually fighting him.
I did like though, like the sections before the boss fights where you could like get enough rings to be supersonic. This kind of reminded me of like
That I did like.
it kind of reminded me of like in Sonic CD where like there was a bit of level before the boss.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Sonic 1 had a couple, or Episode 1, excuse me, had a couple rings before the bosses, but they never gave you enough to be supersonic against the bosses, which is always like a little bit annoying to me because it's. I mean, yeah, you have to beat them normally once, but can I? There's this. I want to be supersonic and beat the bosses, and then they let us do that. It's still kind of annoying since the team attacks take you out of your supersonic state, but
Yeah.
it's a step in the right direction.
All right, so go back to White Park. The boss of that zone, which was the supersonic battle, not the supersonic battle, no, the metal sonic battle. I still like how he just comes in on the rocket tails, pulls out of nowhere in episode 1. Like, I still think it's funny how like they didn't have the tornado or any like decent explanation for how Sonic gets to space. It's just, oh hey, Tails has a random rocket laying around. Let's use it.
See?
Well, I mean, it's trying to be like the classic Sonic games in the sense that there was never any spoken dialogue or text-driven plot, but it still managed to tell a story.
It didn't work too well.
Granted, I still think Sonic 3 and Knuckles did a much better job of that, and it's way older.
I think actually like how episode 2 did it better because like they don't have much cutscenes during the main game, and there's not like a lot of ones to connect the levels. But they did have
Right.
But they did have like ones near the end to help like explain how Sonic gets to space and all that sorts of stuff. And they were actually kind of cartoony and cool.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I think episode 2 did that pretty good. Episode 1 though, random rocket. Does Tails just have it all over the place in Splash Hill?
Well,
Okay, but anyways, the Metal Sonic boss fight. Oh wait, MG, were you gonna say something?
I was just gonna say I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, he makes stuff, but yeah.
Yeah. Alright. So the Metal Sonic boss fight. It doesn't make any sense why he's on the rocket unless you've played episode Metal. But
Which I have not done yet.
I haven't played it, but I have seen the cutscenes.
I haven't played it
Okay.
either, so
The boss fight is like, I think it was a pretty cool boss. Even though with Supersonic it's ridiculously easy.
yeah.
That's kind of the point, right?
Well, yeah, but like unlike the Eggman boss fights, when you're doing the Metal Sonic ones as Supersonic, like you can just dominate the fight without ever having to go back to your combos.
Right.
Well, somewhat, I would actually like that the other bosses played out similarly with Supersonic, just because it's not like I like trophies and stuff. So the Supersonic trophy, I like a challenge, but it's you don't really play as Supersonic for most of them because of the co-op thing. At least with that one, you could play as just Sonic. Supersonic, I should say.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I guess that is kind of weird because older games did not require you to have to use the team attack or the team ability to fly or whatever to beat the game. And in this, it's like, oh, you have to fly. I guess except Marble Garden
Yeah.
in Sonic 3,
Yeah.
where even if you were just playing as Sonic by himself, Tails would randomly come out of nowhere for the boss fight.
So
It's kind of funny. And then when you beat it, he leaves and it's like, see you later.
I don't want to be in this game anymore.